This video contains or may contain spoilers for Hollow Knight. A significant aspect of Hollow Knight's lore is the Dream Realm, a plane of existence beyond the physical world. But what exactly are its properties? How exactly does it relate to the material world? I'll explore these questions and more in this video. When we first encounter the Seer, she describes the Dream Realm as a space between body and soul. This likely refers to the Dream Realm being outside of the physical world and possibly having something to do with spirit or the afterlife. Since the Moth tribe came from the Radiants, they were naturally able to manipulate and travel between dreams. The only way any other bug can do so, however, is with the Dream Nail. The Knight is revealed to be the subject of a prophecy involving a wielder of this item. The Dreamers actually manipulate the Dream Realm from where they are within it, trapping the Knight inside a dream from which the Dream Nail is their only escape. It seems that any particular dream in the Dream Realm must be anchored to something physical. In some cases, it is one's physical body, such as the Dreamers, which the Knight must find in order to enter those dreams and break the seals from within. The dream that the Dreamers trap the Knight inside of seems to be anchored to their monument in the resting grounds, since when the Knight walks in front of it, a cage made of essence prevents them from escape. The White Palace, now located entirely within the Dream Realm, is attached to the King's Mold who sits where the physical entrance to the palace used to be. The dream in which the Radiance is imprisoned is connected to none other than the Hollow Knight. If a particular living being is the anchor of a dream, they usually have to be asleep in order for the dream to be accessed. There are two notable exceptions to this, however, the Hollow Knight and the Godseeker. When Hornet holds down the Hollow Knight so that the Knight can use the Dream Nail on them, the Hollow Knight is clearly still awake, as they will continue fighting if the Knight does not use the Dream Nail in time. When Godhome is first entered via the Godseeker, she is asleep, but once the Knight makes enough progress in the Pantheons, she becomes awake in the physical world. She then remains awake, and Godhome can then be re-entered through her. The Dream Realm appears to be able to sort of overlap with the physical. We can see this with the warrior dreams, who are fought in the physical world at the sites of their death rather than completely inside a dream like dream bosses. The Grimkin are also fought in this state. It's possible that the spirits of the dead are able to manifest themselves if there is significant enough memory of them, such as a monument, or if something else prevents them from moving on, such as refusing to accept their death. In the case of the Grimkin, however, they are not dead, as we see them all alive inside Grimm's tent. It's possible that through the power of the Nightmare's heart, they are able to temporarily become intangible like spirits in order to harvest the flames that are part of the Grimm Troop's ritual. Speaking of the Grimm Troop, we learn from their quest that the Dream Realm was actually split in the past, and a section of it, the Nightmare Realm, exists entirely apart. This may have happened because of a rivalry between the Radiance and the Nightmare's heart, since they are both higher beings who exist within the Dream Realm and can manifest their power outside of it through the minds and bodies of bugs. Both of them also need certain circumstances to be met in order to have this power, the Radiance being remembered and the Nightmare's heart being fed with scarlet flame. Dreams are made of fragments of light called essence. When the Knight has the Dream Nail, they are able to use their physical weapon to hit both spirits in the material world and the Dreamers inside their dreams. Once these figures have been hit enough times, essence appears to be expelled from them enough that it can be absorbed, either by the dream nail as with the warrior dreams, or the knight using focus in the case of the dreamers. This also happens to the Radiance during her fight, which makes sense as she is made of a light similar to essence. Once she has been hit enough times, she is either forcibly dragged into the void and extinguished or ripped apart, depending on which version of her is fought. The dream realm can also be used to travel between places in the physical realm by using the dream gate. This is further evidence of the dream realm being layered on top of the physical world. In order for the dream gate to be placed, however, the location must have enough of a connection to a dream. It also consumes one essence, so using it requires some kind of power. It also creates some physical force akin to that of taking damage, since using the dream gate while carrying the delicate flower destroys the flower. Dreams can take root in the physical world as whispering roots, which contain essence. They can be seen in the physical world without the dream nail, but the dream nail is required to extract the essence from the plants. Once all the essence is extracted, the root takes on a new shape, and the collective thoughts that brought it into being can be read with the dream nail. Things that happen in the dream realm are able to affect the physical realm. When the knight fights the Radiance inside the Hollow Knight's dream, they voluntarily break their own shell to transform into a void entity, which causes their shell in the real world to be broken in the same way, ultimately bringing about their demise. When the Radiance is fought in Godhome, the knight becomes an even more powerful entity called the Shade Lord, which appears to be able to escape back out into the physical world through Godhome's connection to the material world, the Godseeker's own physical body. Some particular dreams almost seem to be more connected to the physical world than others. Most notably, dying in these dreams or dreamlike spaces results in a real death rather than the knight waking up. The delicate flower is also destroyed when taking damage in one of these places. These are the White Palace, the Lifeblood Room in the Abyss, and the Hollow Knight's Dream where the Radiance is fought. In the case of the White Palace, it was in the physical world before being relocated to the Dream Realm, which is a possible explanation. For the Radiance, I think she's just powerful enough that she could kill the knight even inside a dream. The Lifeblood Room is harder to figure out though. If the knight falls into the clouds at the bottom of the room, they wake up outside of it, as would happen with any other dream. They also wake up immediately when they collect the Lifeblood Core Charm. If they deplete their masks of health, however, they die as they normally would, even leaving behind a shade. The only explanation I can think of is the abyss creature from which Lifeblood originates being able to manifest itself at least partially in both the dream realm and the physical world through things such as Lifeblood cocoons. Likewise, the space in which it can be found has some properties of a dream and others of the material world. One thing that Godhome reveals is that dreams appear to be able to have layers. These deeper layers of dreams also have anchors, those being either the entrances to the pantheons or the statues in the Hall of Gods. If the knight loses a battle in either a pantheon or the arena of a particular boss, they will appear to wake up outside wherever they entered that dream from, although if they complete a pantheon successfully, they will exit through the door as if awake. All the while, the knight still is in Godhome, which itself is within the dream realm, while their physical body remains asleep in the junk pit. Godhome seems to be a particularly complex dream, so that could explain these unique dream properties. The White Palace has something similar with the Path of Pain. Once the knight has completed the Path of Pain, they wake up outside its entrance and cannot enter the Path of Pain again. The Land of Storm's memory in Godhome can also be entered only once, and the knight appears to wake up outside of where its entrance was. So what do you think of the Dream Realm and its lore? Is there any aspect of it that I didn't cover? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to give it a like, share it, check out my other Hollow Knight videos, and subscribe for more. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.